Well, hello peeps, it's a Hillbilly Halfwit. Sorry you're a bit late today. I had some other things to do today. So, what are we going to talk about today? Well, I just had this funny thought to think. I wonder, are the Welsh government gaslighting all these RS farmers before the Royal Welsh Show and that sort of thing? And then they'll just suddenly say, oh yeah, we're not going to do this. Just to get people to say, oh, how we change our policies to help you out. I wonder. So that'll be interesting. Say the Royal Welsh Show comes now in a few weeks, and all of a sudden, oh, we're listening to you. This government is listening to you. They've thrown out this completely idiotic blue tongue policy. And everybody thinks it is idiotic, even their own people. And then they'll go to the Royal Welsh Show. It'll be the big thing of discussion. Nobody will be talking about the inheritance tax. They'll all be talking about blue tongue. And then they'll go, oh, we love you farmers so much, we're not going to do it. And they weren't going to do it anyway by the end of next month, or start of next month. I wonder, am I right, eh? And another thing as well, regarding the inheritance tax, I've noticed lots of people have stopped talking about it. Some of these people who are at the head of the protests about 12 months ago aren't even bothering about it, because there's this new thing now where they say, if you turn your farm over to your children when they're at middle age, it'll be a lot better for you. I think people need to realise really what the statistics are. If you say you're in your 50s and you turn your farm over to your son or daughter, and now the traditional way is to keep it for as long as you can, and then turn it over after as you get later in life. Now, the statistics in the UK are 50% of most of the marriages that happen now end up in divorce. So if, say, you turn over your farm to your, I'm just not talking about myself, I'm talking about other people. Say you turn over your farm to your kids when you're in your 50s, and then they get married, and 50% of everybody that gets married gets divorced. Half your farm is up in smoke, gone. So come on here, come on, hey, wait. So I think that's one to watch out for. The way that we've done it for years has worked, hasn't it? By the older generation trying to keep it for as long as possible, and then passing it over to the next generation, and then they're so thankful for having it that they look after it. Because we all know what happens when you're in your teens or your 30s. You're not fully matured enough to know how much of an asset you've got and how easy it can all go. Well, it's the same really, because it's when people say as well, isn't it? If there's this new fad going along where you turn your house over to your children when you're in your 50s, not a farm now, and to get away from inheritance tax again, and lots of people are getting divorced, and then the wife or whatever has half of the house, and they chuck granny and grandfather out. You know, you've got to think about these things. You've got to use your noddle a bit. And when the statistics show 50% of marriages end in divorce, not many people have a prenuptial agreement, do they? So it's just a thing to think about. So I personally think that this blue tongue thing is such a nutty policy. It's designed to wind everybody up, and then when it comes to the Royal Welsh Show, they'll be saying, oh, we listened to you, we're not going to go ahead with it. And they weren't going to go ahead anyway. That's what I've got an inkling to think it is. And then none of the farmers are talking about the real problems. which is the SFS and the inheritance tax problems. That's my thinking about it, because I don't trust these politicians at all. It's all misdirection, politics. Like lots of people say now, I've been one of them, that Reform hopefully will win the next election in Wales. I hope they do. But you have to remember that Plaid Cymru have said they're not going to work with Reform. So if Labour and Plaid Cymru have got enough AMs, or they'll work together and Labour will be back in again. And it's the actual numbers of seats, from what I understand from last week, show that even if Reform win in the number of seats, because it's different to how it is in Westminster, it means that Plaid Cymru and Labour can work together again and keep Reform out. That's what I'm worried about. Really am. And I can see the way they're arsehole creeping in lots of farmers now, Plaid Cymru. They really are arsehole creeping when they've been making the decisions all the way through. I would not trust Plaid Cymru as far as I could throw them. And that comes from a son of somebody who voted Plaid Cymru all his life. My dad always voted Plaid Cymru. And you won't catch me voting for him, I can tell you. A most untrustworthy bunch. They'll do anything to get in power. Last time there was an election, they were trying to get the English vote by saying, oh, how we'd let... sorry, not this last one, the one before. How we'll get the English vote to help them get houses and stuff, because they realised more English people were in Wales. And then the last time they went the other way. They'll do anything. They will do anything. They're the most untrustworthy party I've ever seen, besides Labour. So you have to remember, we've seen that lots of these Welsh AMs from Labour are giving up, but because they're creating this new system where of AMs now, there's so many, I think there's 20 AMs or something like that, that will go in from each party. They just have to pick them. So Dickford could be in there again, and the people that's in his constituency, in that constituency, will have no choice, because the Labour Party, the parties decide who go in the constituencies. So you have to remember, Wales' electoral system is rigged on purpose. That's why they decided you have to have 6 in these separate areas, because it helps Labour. It always has. That's why they had 14-year-olds in school, getting them eligible for voting, and then when they're 16, they send them all the bump vote after they brainwashed them. So I hope Reform are doing brilliant in Wales. I just hope people remember, if people don't vote for them in a mass, we'll have the same with what we got now. So that's my thoughts today. I think blue tongue is such a daft policy. It's possibly something just to wind everybody up, to take their mind off. When they go to the Royal Welsh Show, all these NFUs will say, look what we've done to stop them getting this policy. And the reality is, it wasn't going to come in anyway. That's my own personal thing. So please comment, rate and subscribe. All the best, guys.